Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All those who share Prabhupada. Welcome devotees to today's class. Today we'll be discussing from Chaitanya Charitamrita, the Lila chapter 7 verse 51. The chapter is entitled Lord Chaitanya in 5 Features. We are in a discussion where the devotees are telling Lord Chaitanya that they can't hear any blasphemous talks about the Supreme Lord. And we're going to go deeper into this discussion. And we're happy to have His Holiness Candramauli Swami with us. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to you and Shiva Prabhupada. And it's all yours, Maharaj.
Jai Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jai Gaura Bhakta Vinda, Tomare Ninda Ye Yatra, Sannasira Gana, Sunite Napare Fate, Hridaya Shravana. The Mayavadi sannyasis are all criticizing your holiness. We cannot tolerate hearing such criticism, for this blasphemy breaks our hearts. This is a manifestation of real love for Krishna and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There are 3 categories of Vaishnavas: Kanista Adhikaris, Madhyama Adhikaris, and Uttama Adhikaris. Kanista Adhikari, or the devotee in the lowest stage of Vaishnava life, has firm faith but is not familiar with the conclusions of the Shastras. The devotee in the second stage, the Madhyamanari, is completely aware of the Shastra conclusion and has firm faith in his Guru and the Lord. He therefore, avoiding non-devotee, preaches to the innocents. However, the Mahabhagavat or Uttamakari, the devotee in the highest stage of devotional life, does not see anyone as being against the Vaishnava principles, for regards everyone as a Vaishnava but himself. This is the essence of Lord Chaitanya's instructions, that one should be more tolerant than the tree and think of oneself lower than the straw in the street. Trinarapi sunichena tayor iva sahishnuna. However, even if a devotee is in the Uttama Bhagavat status, he must come down to the second status of life, Madhyamanarikari, to be a preacher. For a preacher should not tolerate blasphemy against another Vaishnava. Although a Kanista Adhikari can also tolerate such blasphemy, he is not competent to stop it by the citing Shastric evidence. Therefore, Tapan Mishra and Chandra Shekhar are understood to be Kanista Adhikaris because they could not refute the arguments of the sannyasis and Banaris. They appealed to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to take action, for they felt that they could not tolerate such criticism, although they also could not stop it. Chakshun militam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale. Vimakte Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namini Namaste Saraswati Deve. Gaurvani Pacharine Nivasesa Sunyavari. Vastyatya De Satarine. Vanshakalpatarubhischa. Kripa Sindhu Bebacha. Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, I'll be back in one flash of a second. So as mentioned here, there are three categories of Vaishnavas: Kanista, Madhyaman, and Uttamam. Our movement is meant to produce people on the level of Madhyam and not stay on the level of Kanista. The Kanistas generally are focusing on their own spiritual practice. They don't preach. And they have a lot of regard for the Lord and the spiritual master, but they do not find it very important, nor do they engage in serving other Vaishnavas. They don't have enough Shastric knowledge to come in contact with some opposite philosophical teachings. They can't defeat it. They can't understand it even. Kanista. Madhyamam means middle. And the characteristics of that stage is meant to be practiced by everyone in our movement. And that is to develop attraction and loving service towards the Lord, to make friends with devotees and serve Vaishnavas, to preach to the innocent and non-devotees, and to avoid the atheists and the, Mayavadis, the non-devotees, who are against Shastra, who are against God, right, basically. The Uttama Adhikari is mentioned here. He sees everyone as serving the Lord more than him, therefore he doesn't see any reason for preaching. But an Uttama Adhikari can become a preacher if he comes down to the second-class platform, Madhyamam, which is recommended here. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivajagacharya Astottara Satta Sri Sriman, His Divine Grace. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So Prabhupada was an Uttama Adhikari, but in order to preach, he had to adopt the mood of the Madhyamam. Otherwise, you can't preach on that highest platform. And therefore, that preaching mood is the mood of the devotees of Lord Chaitanya. We're not meant to simply be satisfied with our own spiritual practice. We're meant to actually take opportunities to engage in outreach to the non-devotees, the conditioned souls, in some form or another. And therefore that inspires them to learn the philosophy and to be able to present the knowledge in a way that is convincing to others. Faith is also divided into three categories. Kanistas have very little faith, and their faith can also be trampled upon when they come in contact with something that what we say they cannot understand, they may also give up their practice of Krishna consciousness. A Madhyamam may also not be able to defeat others, but they don't go away. They stay fixed in Krishna consciousness no matter what. And the Uttama can, at least from his perspective of his highest position, has full faith in the process and has complete knowledge. Tasmad Guru Padyayita. Jigyasam Sayam Uttama Sabde Pare China Nishnatma Brahma Upasrayasrayam. That this is the position of the Uttama Adhikari. They know the Shastras and they can defeat all opposing arguments that come. It's even the arguments of the Mayavadis. The Mayavadis are very expert at taking the Shastric statements and twisting it for their own philosophical conclusions. They have the ability to re-present the Shastras in a way that formulates their own ideas on what is the actual conclusion, which means they think that the living entity in the material world is the supreme, but has somehow fallen from that position, and therefore the purpose of practicing spiritual life is to regain the position of being the supreme. Because they say the supreme is one, but all living entities are spiritual, therefore all living entities are God, because God is one, but many at the same time. So that's their bogus philosophy. And we won't go too much into the Mayavadi philosophy, because this whole section is beginning where Lord Chaitanya will present the knowledge of Siddhanta, or the conclusion of all scriptures, based on the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and other relevant scriptures that conclude that the living entity is the eternal servant of the Lord, but has somehow fallen into this material world. And perfection is to come back to one's position as an eternal servant of the Lord, according to the process of bhakti as taught in the Rupa Goswami's Nectar of Devotion. Okay, so these are some ideas. So the devotees are feeling unhappy. Tapan Mishra Chandrasekhar are feeling unhappy because they can't refute the arguments of the sannyasis in Benares. And they're running to Lord Chaitanya saying, this is what they're saying. Please do something, because it's causing us great anxiety to hear what they're speaking about. And they're finding fault with you. They don't understand the idea of transcendence. Please. So they can't do it themselves. Prabhupada says they're kanista, but they're kanista in one sense, not in the complete sense, that they cannot refute the arguments of others. Okay, so this is an interesting section here. And this is a manifestation, as it says here, for love. When a devotee hears the Lord or the Lord's devotee being criticized, they have to step forward and make some statement to defeat the offender. If they can't defeat the offender, says they must give up their life. If they can't do that, then they should leave the situation right away. So it's recommended to either defeat them or that, or else go away. It's not recommended to give up one's life, because one may also be a brahmana, and if you kill yourself, who's a brahmana, you may get implicated in brahma hatya, killing of a brahmana. So it's not recommended, even if you're not a brahmin, especially in Kali Yuga. That particular option is not an option. Okay, so devotees should learn the philosophy. This is one of the most important principles that's being illustrated here. When you can hear something, you can tell whether it's in line with Shastra conclusions, whether it's statements in the Shastras that are in line with the execution of Bhakti Yoga. And when you hear statements that are not, you should be able to discriminate between the two. Because sometimes it becomes very, if devotees don't know, at least have a working knowledge of the philosophy, they might find themselves believing things or practicing things that are contrary to the conclusion of bhakti. For instance, the Mayavadis take that one verse, Amaivam so jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana masastande indriyani prakriti stani karshati. They say that this statement that the living entity is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord is only during the material manifestation, but when the material manifestation is not present, there is no difference between the Lord and the living entities. So they take that statement and restructure it around. There's statements saying that spirit cannot be divided. Therefore, they say, how can there be two spirits, such as the Supreme Spirit and the Jiva Spirit? Spirit is one. So therefore, everyone is the Supreme because spirit cannot be divided. And that's a statement from the Shastras. But spirit cannot be divided, that is true. But there is categories within the absolute principle of spirit which are based on relationships. And so there is the source and there is the result. So the source of all existence is spiritual, and that's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna. And the living entities are parts of that same personality, but in smaller quantity, that's all. Not that there is one spirit and it becomes undivided and everyone is equal, and equality becomes understood only after liberation. These are they're very tricky in beginning making their arguments. Therefore, it says that one should not hear Mayavadi philosophy because one can be lost. If one hears their philosophy in a submissive way, that means with the idea to accept and understand, then one becomes lost. Because Lord Chaitanya explains Mayavadi Krishna Aparade, that they are offenders to the Supreme Lord themselves, because they say the Lord has no form. We have form, but the Lord has no form. So where they get this idea is simply by their own concoctions. How can form come from non-form? As form is superior to non-form. Non-form can come from form, but not the opposite. Therefore, the absolute truth is form. And he manifests himself in different features of himself, and they all have form them also themselves. The non-form is the energy of the Lord, the all-pervading Brahma effulgence that supports the entire creation. But in other words, the Lord and the Lord's energy. The energy is non-form, the Lord is form. So they equate or say energy and energetic as one, so therefore everyone is, I guess, formless, but in the material sense, we take on a form in order to get back to the formless. It sounds almost ridiculous. You have a form and then your results is to become formless. So formless means what? Means no body, no spiritual body, and therefore the soul also, it has form, as explained in the Shastras. As the material body has different forms, the spirit also has form. But that spirit form is not perceivable when we are under the influence of the material energy. As we perfect our Krishna consciousness, we reveal our actual eternal form in the spiritual, in relationship to the Supreme Lord, in devotion. And that could be a wide range of forms, and it also could take two different categories, either within the Goloka Dham, which is Vrindavan Dham, or the spiritual world where Krishna manifests himself as a transcendental cowherd boy, or it can be in Vaikuntha, where he is Lord Narayan with 4 arms and is worshipped as the supreme absolute personality of Godhead. Here it also talks about what is the essence of the instructions of Lord Chaitanya, and that is Trinadapi, Sunichena Tayoriva Sahishmina. Tolerance, humility, not considering the oneself to be superior or even important. In unimportant in the sense that we are one of many living entities who are also part of that spiritual energy. And we get our existence from the Supreme Lord and connect our existence with the Supreme Lord through devotional service. But in order to approach the absolute truth, one has to be humble. Because humility is the characteristic to receive the mercy of the Lord. One is proud, or one starts to identify themselves with the material body according to the activities they perform. They cannot practice real humility. Real humility means, we're small in the sense we call jiva. Jiva means tiny or infinitesimal. And we get our existence from the Supreme, and we also get whatever we need in order to execute devotional service. It comes in the form of mercy. That mercy is manifested first in the spiritual master as a spiritual master. It's called the mercy manifestation of the Supreme Lord. In one sense, being non-different than the Lord, he represents the Lord, and by serving the spiritual master, which means to serve his instructions, we make progress in devotional service because the spiritual master's position is to take our service and offer it to Krishna in devotion. And therefore, if he's pleased by our activities, then Krishna automatically becomes pleased. And that's a principle of humility. Not that I have so many good qualities and I can do so many things. I have so much knowledge of the Shastra. I've come from, a good family. I have so many personal qualifications. I can do so many things. These are disqualifications for the practice of devotional service, in the sense that if we adopt them as part of our character, part of our personality, they block our progress in devotional service. The devotee depends on the Lord, depends on the mercy of the Lord, prays for the mercy of the Lord, sees himself as being a receptacle of the mercy in order for them to make progress in devotional service. In other words, the devotee empties himself of any ideas that he has. He can become successful by his own endeavor. That's not possible. We make the endeavor, and by the quality of that endeavor, we attract the nature of the Supreme Lord, and mercy comes through the spiritual master. And as it says, when one follows the instructions of the spiritual master, one makes tangible progress in devotional service. And when one has complete faith in both the instructions of the spiritual master and in the instructions of the Lord, one has all knowledge of Scripture, even though they may not know all the philosophical principles. Still, if they have that complete faith and act on that in terms of their devotional service, then they receive the full mercy of the Lord. Yasya Devi Parabhakta Tata Devi Tata Guru Tasyaitam Katitam Yatta Prakasanata Mahatmanaha. Implicit faith, that faith that is not broken under any circumstance. So a Madhyama Harikari can have that. Uttama Harikari automatically has it. Madhyama can have it, and they practice devotional service in that way. Humility, tolerance. Tolerance means that there are so many difficulties, there's so many opportunities to go away because of the difficulties that one is facing. But one tolerates these things and stays steady in the execution of their devotional service. Tolerance is not simply accepting some difficulty. No, it means to accept difficulty and accept that difficulty in relationship to the practice of devotionals. In other words, the difficulty inspires them to go deeper into their own practice of devotional service and to use the difficulty as an opportunity to make advancement by gaining more knowledge, by gaining some detachment from something material, by gaining more and more awareness of our need to depend on the Lord in every circumstance. And then, Maninama Manadena, to give respect to others and not ask any respect for oneself. These four principles make up the essence of Lord Chaitanya's instructions. And then what is the result? Kirtaniya Sadadahi, that one can actually chant the holy names of the Lord continuously and relish the happiness of chanting Krishna's name, to simply by practicing these four principles. We may not be what we say proficient or expert at these four principles, but it's incumbent. In other words, it's a requirement that everyone practice them. Practice humility, practice tolerance, practice giving respect to others, give respect to others, and practice not to accept any respect for yourself. If respect comes to you in different ways, just offer that respect to your spiritual master, to Krishna, to the association of the Vaishnavas. Like that, we can accept respect or glorification, but we pass it on. We don't leave it to somehow bask in this idea that I'm really advanced. I can do so many things. So yeah, devotees should always be humble, because at any time, even if you are quite good at doing things, at any time Krishna can change anything around in 1 second. He can make it so difficult for you, you can't even remember your own name. That's a fact. As soon as one becomes proud, and Krishna shows him how ignorant you actually are by doing something to show you your own foolishness. Well, that's Krishna. He's merciful. He doesn't want us to act in the wrong way. So he uses his position to redirect us back to the right mood, which is complete dependence on him and service to the Vaishnavas. Okay, these are some things we can think about. This is an interesting verse. This is a prelude to the essence of this section, which Lord Chaitanya will come in personal contact with the Mayavadis. And then there's a nice dialogue that ensues.
Thank you so much, Marge, for this wonderful class. I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to request devotees if you can please turn on your videos. And we have about 30 to 40 minutes max. So please do have your questions ready. If you have questions, please do raise your hand and I'll call you in the order that has been raised. Marge, when we were reading about this purport about Tapan Mishra and Chandrasekhar. And towards the end, Srila Prabhupada said it's because they were on the Kanishta level. I'm trying to understand one thing, Marge, but even if they were on the Kanishta level, is it because they were concerned that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was getting criticized? Because I'm assuming they had firm faith in the Lord, right, Maharaj?
Yeah, but they couldn't respond to the criticism.
And that's why they are considered in that they were in the Kanishta level, Maharaj?
Yeah, it's kind of bewildering to me because Kanista
Yeah.
has characteristics that it would seem that these personalities don't have. Um, but at the same time, I think Prabhupada is making a point that this lack of uh, qualifications to deal with these statements of criticism is an indication of Kanista. I think it's more like um, that they are acting as a Kanista in that situation.
Okay. So, which means, Maharaj, that in order for one to be able to deal with criticism, does that mean that they have to know how to quote unquote like defeat with
Yeah,
by using Shastra? Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You have to present the opposing arguments in a convincing way, or at least in the best part. You know, we should know. We should have a working knowledge of the Shastra. That's the point.
Yeah. Thank you, Marge. Any questions from devotees, please do raise your hand, or you can put it in the chat and I'll be happy to read it to Maharaj. This is a very, very, very deep point, and as Maharaj said, to really understand the different levels of devotees. Maharaj, when you were speaking, oh, go ahead, Prashida. You can go ahead.
Uh, Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances in your lotus feet. Guru Maharaj, as you told, that there should be one quality. There should be a very important quality of Talandapi Sunichain Taro Pishashna Amanina Manadina Kirtina Sadari. So Guru Maharaj, Amanina Manadina. So sometimes during the devotional service, we there would be some acceptation. We want praising from other sides. We want to be a center of attraction. Sometimes it happens. So how could we don't want that it should be happen in our character. So how can we come out from this tendency of
Yeah.
becoming a center of attraction?
Um, we have to understand, in order to practice devotional service, the element of mercy has to be there. Mercy comes from the mercy giver, the spiritual master, the supreme Lord. And many times, even in the case of the collective mercy of the Vaishnavas, one thinks themselves qualified, then that's a disqualification. It's based on mercy. Krishna says that you have to serve, but don't think you are the cause of the results of your activities. You're not. Because the results, you can't make things happen by your service, but you think you can. The results are outside of your jurisdiction. They come from either material energy for the non-devotees or for the devotees through the spiritual energy. All we can do is make an effort, and the results are given to us. If we think we're the cause of the results of the activities, then we think we're actually the supreme, or we're in a position to uh, accept the idea that I did it. Krishna says, you're not, you did it in the sense that you made an effort, but that's all. The results are not up to you. I mean, you'll see sometimes you do something and you get a particular result, and then you do something again that is very similar, and the result comes out differently. You don't always get the same result, even though the activity and the effort is the same. And there may be other factors that influence the results of your activities, such as the time, the place, the circumstance, the ingredients available. These are all things that influence. So a devotee depends on the Lord in all circumstances, in every circumstance. We have to act like it depends on us. We have to know it doesn't.
Hope that helped,
Even
Rashida Prabhu.
yes, Guru Maharaj, even there is one example. During the book distribution, I myself and my wife used to go to we used to stand in front of the hotel, and somebody coming from the hotel, so we used to distribute Bhagavad Gita during the 4 month of Gita distribution. So sometime it happens within the 5 to 10 minutes we easily used to give Bhagavad Gita, and sometimes it took more than 2 hours, and we would not able to give single Bhagavad Gita. So somehow I think there is a somehow tendency कि मतलब because of me it is happening. So somehow the false ego or something, because of this we could not uh, give Bhagavad Gita. So
Because it's
sometimes yes.
of me, it's happening. Because of me, it's not happening.
Mm,
Because of me. You're seeing yourself as the center. Therefore, you want to be the enjoyer of the results of your activities.
zero.
That was a very nice question, Prashida. Thank you so much. I'm sure it helped every one of us.
You're not the enjoyer. You're the instrument to make things happen, but you are not the enjoyer, and you're not the controller, and you can't make the results happen either. You try, and you should try, but ultimately, it's up to the higher powers how it manifests. We've talked about this so many times. Why can't people understand this point? I mean, why do we have to go back over the same thing 100 times? I mean, just read the books. So, you have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activity, and never be attached to not doing your duty, Krishna says in the Gita. He also talks about the 5 factors of action. When you're only 1/5 of that 5, the other 4 have to be there in order for the activity to be complete. Why do we want to take so much credit? We're happy that things go on in a certain way because we can offer those results to Krishna. But Krishna is not interested so much in the results. He's interested in the mood that we perform the devotional service in. We're trying to please him. We're trying to please the Vaishnavas. We're trying to push on this movement of Krishna consciousness.
Yes,
We make the effort. That's as
Thank you, Maharaj.
much as we can do.
sir.
The non-devotees, they can't, they think they're the doer, and when it doesn't come out, they think they have to approach it in a different way, and that way it'll come out differently. There's some element of truth in that, because under the influence of material energy, the results are either good, bad, or mixed. But in spiritual life, there's no category of results. All of it is an offering to Krishna. Therefore, spiritual life is called akarma. There's no material reaction.
Thank you, Maharaj. Pavni, you're up next. Go ahead.
Just be happy to serve. That's all. Don't worry about the results. Do your best. That's all. Now, Vidura, I mean, Krishna went to the house of Vidura, and when he was invited by Duryodhana to come to a grand celebration in his honor, but he can understand the mentality of Duryodhana, so he didn't go. So the same night he went to the house of Vidura, and Vidura wasn't even home. And his wife answered the door, and she saw Krishna. And she became a little bit overwhelmed, not expecting Krishna. She became nervous. The first thing she thought was, let me offer something to Krishna. But all she could find was bananas. So she grabbed the bananas and started peeling the bananas. But in her excitement, she was throwing away the bananas and giving Krishna the peel. And Krishna was eating the peels. Why? Because of her bhakti, not because, he wanted to just make some fun out of it. No, her bhakti was there. Didn't matter what she was offering. He was accepting her bhakti. But, don't take advantage of that and think you can do anything and call it devotional service. You still have to try to do your best to offer Krishna everything in the nicest possible way. And that's an element of bhakti, to want to do something to please the object and do it in such a way that it's done in the best possible way. Both the mood and the activity together we offer to Krishna, but the mood is more important. If a person has 1 rupee and another person has a crore rupees, and that crore rupees is offered to Krishna, but that man who offers the crore is very proud, thinking I've offered this night offering to Krishna. Krishna will be very happy. And that other person who has very little says, oh, this is all I could give. It's not very much. I wish I could offer some more. But they do it to please Krishna. Krishna will accept that. He won't accept the big offering. Why? Because he doesn't need anything. That's the point. He doesn't need anything we offer him.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. So powerful answer. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Maharaj. Pavni, you're up next. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and your lotus feet. Maharaj, it so happens that sometimes devotees, they tell you to do a service which is kind of, I don't know how to say this, elevated. It's more, um, really of a big deal. But then you think that it's not for my qualification, and then when they really insist that you do it, you can actually do it, and then you get this tinge of pride in your heart, even though you before you're I'm not gonna get proud, but that pride still comes in. So how do we stop ourselves from getting that pride in?
Are you sure it's pride, or are you just feeling happy because you were able to do the service nicely? If you're feeling happy, that's not necessarily pride.
I think I feel proud because it feels like there are others who can't do this, and I'm the only one who can do it, kind of like that.
Well, you just check yourself and just say, oh, all glories to my spiritual master, all glories to the collective devotees, all glories to the spiritual master, all glories to Krishna. If you pass it on, the results of your activities, and offer it to the superior person, then you're free from that pride. You should be thankful to have the opportunity for the service. That will become thankful for. And we become happy to have that opportunity. But when the results come, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to my spiritual master, all glories to the Supreme Lord, who is mercifully allowing me to serve. Yeah.
I see.
Service is given to us. We don't, it's not that we have to think that I deserve to serve.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hope that helped, Pavani. Thank you. Krishna Kaviraj Prabhu, you're up next. Thank you.
Very much. Sometimes we're given services that may be a little challenging, and we always feel like we want to go in front of the deities and pray to them for help in being able to serve nicely and please the Vaishnavas, and also for the result. But it's not our personal result. It's like the temple authorities have got something in mind. They want this achieved. So we're going in and like saying we want to be able to serve nicely, and we want help to that, and it would be nice if we could collectively achieve the result too. But we don't know what Krishna wants. So is it wrong to pray for that?
Yes. So what's the question?
So is it still okay to pray like that?
Praying that Krishna will accept what you offer?
Help us to serve nicely and help us to achieve the result.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay.
That indicates your position as being dependent on the mercy of the Lord.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Yeah, that's nice.
Thank you, Krishna Kaviraj. March, that's a question in the chat from Rishaba. He said, Gurudev, if we are not the doers and we don't make results happen, it seems contradictory to push devotees to double their scores, as it seems someone is imposing on you that you are the doer. Many times our authorities would be even angry at us if we don't do certain results. How to properly understand this?
No, double your scores means more people will get books and more people will be benefited. And so that's good. We want to do as much as we can to spread Krishna consciousness. Yeah. Even in the spiritual world, there's competition. But the competition is who can serve Krishna the best. And therefore, who becomes the beneficiary of that mood is the Lord. Same thing. All right, this year I did, 10,000 books. Maybe next year I should do 20,000. So you set a goal and you shoot for that. It's nice. And that inspires you in your devotional service. Because devotional service means to always try to do more, always try to do better. That's one of the features of offering Krishna service. Prabhupada said, one of my problems is I can't think small. Prabhupada never thought small. He said, we want the whole world to be Krishna conscious. We weren't satisfied just having our successful little organization. No, we want to bring everybody in. We're not satisfied until everyone is in. Devotee, yeah, this is an interesting point. To become unhappy, to become not satisfied and satisfied at the same time. Satisfied that I'm engaged in devotional service and I'm pleasing the Lord, I'm pleasing my spiritual man, but not satisfied that I'm not doing as much as I could do. I want to do more. That's good. And even creating competition to inspire people to increase, that's good. But again, you have to realize that there's an element of envy and enmity that can enter into it, but that should be avoided. Competition is to please Krishna. That's all.
Thank you, Maharaj. There's a question here Sorry.
We're a preaching movement, so we're not satisfied. Okay, we're doing so much. We want to increase the preaching.
Hope that helped, Rishabha Prabhu. Maharaj, there's a question here from Anand Gaurav. He says, Guru Maharaj, could you elaborate again on the feeling of happiness versus pride when the service is executed?
Pride means I did it. Happiness means that Krishna received it and he's pleased.
Straightforward. Thank you, Maharaj. Sakshi, you're up next.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So, Guru Maharaj, when we get the thoughts of pride or comparison or some negative thoughts like that, what I generally do is I try to distance myself from the thought, and I, I think that I am not. I mean, I don't identify myself with the thought, so that kinds of not disturbs me. Is that a right practice to do? Just
Yeah.
wanted to know.
Yeah, you should discriminate between thoughts are in line with the process of bhakti. Thoughts are actually just some expressions of the false ego. Yeah, you have to see the difference. What's favorable, what's unfavorable. You're not the mind, as you're not the body. You're also not the mind. The mind is also part of the body. So whatever thoughts come into your mind, unless you're a pure devotee, you have to discriminate between what's is favorable and what's unfavorable. You reject the unfavorable ones and you accept the favorable ones.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. I have another question. Can I ask?
Did you get that one? Mm-hmm.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
So Guru, yeah, as per Bhagavad Gita 2.14, Krishna says that one should tolerate both happiness as well as distress. So tolerating distress is pretty much understandable, but how to tolerate happiness?
Don't think you're the cause of the happiness. That's the thing. To be happy in Krishna consciousness is normal. But to think that happiness is the results of your own activity is part of the false ego. So, and happiness can also make you a little bit, it can inspire you to do more, or it can cause you to become a little less enthusiastic. Thinking, now I made Krishna happy, I can take it easy, I can, go for an ice cream cone now and sit back and watch a movie. I did it. The happiness should inspire you to do more in Krishna consciousness, to continue to do more. Now, it shouldn't cause your spiritual life to go down. It should cause you to increase. One devotee was preaching on behalf of Bhakti Siddhanta. He was a leading sannyasi, and he went out and did a program. I spoke this a few times, and the program was so successful that there was thousands of people there, and they after he finished, they gave him a standing ovation. Everyone was so overwhelmed with what a wonderful presentation he made. And so he became a little bit proud, and he was thinking, now I should go back to the ashram and get my most favorite prasadam made for me. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati heard that. He said, who does he think he is? He's asking for some reward for his devotional service. So, in other words, it was a fruit of mentality that entered into it. Everything's for Krishna. It's what it's about. And what do you get out of it? You get happiness, you get knowledge, you get detachment from material life, and you get elevation to the spiritual platform. So you get a lot automatically if you simply please the Lord in devotional service. You don't have to try to get some kind of material results from your activity to make you happy. I did it. I need, I should get this. I should get some position. People should say to me, all glories, none of this. This is all nonsense. Some people need that. Sometimes we do that just to encourage them because they need it. But we, at the same time, we know that that's not the way to respond to a successful presentation or seemingly successful. Just serve for the sake of service and be happy with the service. So, service makes you happy when you're not trying to get something from it. You're just trying to serve. Try your best to make that service palatable, acceptable, and beneficial for others. Sometimes when we begin a lecture, we pray to the body of devotees, please bless me that I can say something relevant that will inspire all of you in your spiritual life.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances always to Srila Prabhupada. Hope that helps Sakshi Mataji. Your question.
Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you so much. Dear devotees, any more questions or comments? So, Maharaj, when we are trying to, Sridevi Mataji, please go ahead.
Dear Srimati, please accept my humble obeisances, dear Guru Maharaj. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. As you were going through this purport and explaining it to us about Tapan Mishra and I forget the name. Chandrasekhar Acharya. They are understood to be Kanishta Adhikaris because they could not refute the argument. So they appealed to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to take action. I'm just little, puzzled by their action in the sense that is that the right procedure? Because when their Lord was being criticized, is it that you go to the Lord Himself, or you speak to other senior devotees and ask them to refute those accusations against your spiritual master or the Lord? I don't understand why they went to the Lord rather than, if they felt they couldn't refute, go to other senior devotees. Just trying to understand that, please.
Why they went to the Lord? And because they were with the Lord. They were there. The Lord had come to that area. I think the Lord, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was staying at the house of Tapan Mishra. It would be natural for them to say that under the circumstances that they couldn't respond. And Lord Chaitanya actually wanted that opportunity to convert these Mayavadis. So that opened the door to the dialogue that will come, where the Lord actually explains what is the actual understanding of spiritual life, the conclusion of bhakti. So I don't think they did the wrong thing. It's not that they did the wrong thing. They just chose to, they were with the Lord.
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, my devotees.
That's what they could have went to someone else and said it, but they didn't. They went to the Lord because they were with Him.
Revati Mataji, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Hi, Krishna Guru Maharaj. My question is about humility. Guru Maharaj, as you mentioned, humility is like following the instructions of spiritual master. So sometimes we might think we are humble, but the humility might be coming from ignorance. So we try to put ourselves like at a very low position. So how to understand like if the humility is coming from pure goodness or it's coming from ignorance?
Humility cannot come from ignorance. Humility, real humility, this fake humility, that may come from ignorance. One is feigning humility, one is acting in a humble way, but one is not actually internally feeling that way. Yeah, so real humility means to accept one's position as being dependent on the mercy of the Lord in all circumstances, and to act in that same way. I can't do anything, but with the mercy of the Lord, I can do anything. Mukhaṁ karati vachalam pangolagate girim yat kripa taraham bande sigurun dinatarinam. By the mercy of the spiritual master, a blind man can see the stars, a lame man can cross mountains, a dumb man can recite beautiful poetry.
Okay, Guru Maharaj. So just do your activities by following instructions. But do not self-criticize also.
Be enthusiastic also. Not just mechanically following, but being enthusiastic to follow. Enthusiastic means I'm going to do my best to serve in this situation. I'm going to use my intelligence. I'm going to use my abilities. I'm going to serve in the best possible way. I'm going to offer that service to Krishna. Yeah. Devotional service is active. It's not some passive mechanical movement that, oh, it says I should do this. All right, I'll do this. Without enthusiasm, there's no life to bhakti. Enthusiasm is eager for the service, eager to please the Lord, eager to push on Krishna consciousness, eagerness. Is acting according to scriptural guidance, not just eagerness, but following the principles as given. How to serve in every situation. Just like now, I'm speaking in your hearing. So if you're really tuned into the proper mood, you're really hearing, listening to what I'm saying, and you're thinking about it, and you're trying to understand it. And then when you do, you start getting questions based on that. Or if you don't get questions, you get realizations of what's being said. That's called active listening, not just passive listening. In one ear, out the other ear. Somebody asks you at the end of class, what was class about? And you say, yeah, it was a nice class. What did they say? Well, it was a nice class, yeah. Not like that.
Yes, yeah. It's Gauri Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much. Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Nice question. Krishna Kaviraj Prabhu, please go ahead.
What did
Your voice is cutting, Prabhuji.
I wanted to ask you about separation versus connection, because previously I spoke to you about every time I come back from the Dharma, I feel more and more and more heartache and separation. And then January, it was like very high level. And then as soon as I got my deities, and I felt no separation, no heartache, I just felt love for them. I felt that even now, every moment, I feel their presence, their connection, their mercy, their teachings, their help. And I feel like I have everything. So I don't feel any separation. And then I think reading and thinking, oh, but we should have separation. But connection feels billion times happier than separation. So I don't know what is right and what is wrong.
Are you with Krishna in the spiritual world right now?
I feel like it.
You are? Oh, then there's no separation. You made it.
But I still have problems because it's not high at every moment. But then
I mean, you've reached
they help me overcome the problems too.
certain stage of bhakti where you're actually your activities are connected with the Lord in everything you do, and that's nice. But don't think that's going to be like that all the way through. Krishna will after some time also test you just to see how much you stay fixed in your devotional service when things change.
I had that, and I had like a period of I was starting to get distracted on other things, and then I just prayed to the deities and said, I don't want this to happen. I want to stay focused. And then from that moment, those distractions, it's just like they come and I just go away, go away, go away, and they would go away. But so they're helping me even in the bad side of it.
Well, for listening to you, I don't think you have any problems. Just keep going.
Okay, thank you, Maharaj.
The different moods in our relationship with Krishna is also part of the experience of bhakti.
I see.
Yeah. As long as you stay within the category of seva, then what you're reaping and what you're offering becomes practically the same.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you so much. Okay, we're almost at the end of the hour, Maharaj.
I'm okay with time today, so you determine how long you want to
Yes,
stay
Maharaj.
on.
I can take a couple of more questions if devotees have. So, Maharaj, I was thinking like how much we have to push ourselves to do the services or to engage more in Krishna consciousness. As you said, like even though we are satisfied, we want to be doing more and push ourselves to do more service, Maharaj.
Yeah.
So it's already it's always needed, even in the Kanishta level also needed.
It's automatic. If you're enthusiastic for service, you'll get ideas how to do more. It'll happen automatically.
Okay.
But if you're not enthusiastic and you just carry out the instructions in a very mechanical way, you don't get any ideas on how to increase or how to improve. It happens automatically. The more you engage in devotional service, the more Krishna reciprocates and your intelligence expands. And then you get more ideas. Oh, I'm decorating the deity like this. Just like you have a deity, then all of a sudden you do something and then you start getting enthusiastic about it, and then more ideas come and you get more ideas how to improve the deity worship. And then you get more ideas and then it keeps going. And then more and more and more and more and more. It happens automatically by your enthusiasm to serve. Yeah, we see that, right?
Yes,
Because when you
Maharaj.
get into it, it expands. If you're not into it, it becomes just a routine. That's all.
But some devotees are afraid to take up those enthusiastically because they feel that there is a time crunch or they can't give so much time like that. So can we encourage them?
They're not interested in Krishna consciousness.
Mm.
They're more interested in their own material arrangements. you're interested in Krishna consciousness, you'll find that it just keeps expanding. More ideas. Even if you don't do new services, the same service, you find different ways to improve it, to make it better, to see it from different angles. You know that. You're the Zoom host. You're thinking of how to improve this whole presentation. The more
Yes.
you think about it, more ideas come.
Yes, Maharaj.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's bhakti.
Mm. Thank you, Maharaj.
And the spiritual master will sometimes push you to do more, just to get that mood going, you know.
Mm.
Prabhupada used to push us, do more, do more, do more. Why? Because he knows the capacity to do more is already there. It's just a matter of just emphasizing that by showing devotees that actually devotional service is never limited. Whatever you're doing now, you can do 10 times more next year, 20 times more next year, 50 times more.
Mm. It's all Krishna's mercy. Yes, Maharaj.
Because your intelligence is nourished, and the intelligence is inspiring you on ways to improve and treat and think of different more ways to do the same service. Look, we've been doing this Zoom call for how long? 5 years now.
Yes, Maharaj.
Yeah. So
Almost 6 years, Maharaj.
Yeah. Started in March of 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6 years. And because we remained steady and kept doing it, despite whatever came up, it's growing. More people, new people are coming on. And, you know, we're getting more ideas on how to present the philosophy. We're getting realizations on how to understand what we're hearing. Yeah, it just expands.
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you so much. Kirtilat Mataji, please go ahead.
Like today, I was praying to Radharani, and all of a sudden, certain services that I had not even thought of doing, although I needed to do it, and there was a timeline on it, all of a sudden it came to my mind, and then I just worked on it, and how it manifested so smoothly was amazing. It wasn't because all of a sudden I became good. It's because Radharani's mercy came. It just happened.
Okay.
And I was thinking, yeah, by the mercy of Radharani, I remembered what I had to do, and it wasn't easy. And I went about it, and then everything just fell into place so nicely. It's just the mercy of the Lord. We should pray for it. If you really want to be successful in Krishna consciousness, pray to Radharani. She's very close to Krishna. She's happy with your prayer. Lord Chaitanya is in the mood of Radharani. So if you're serving Lord Chaitanya nicely, you're also serving Radharani.
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you so much. Thank you. Kirtilat Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my obeisances. Maharaj, actually, yesterday, our temple president, he assigned me a service of whoever comes to temple, we have to take the contact and we have to keep calling them and asking them to come to temple. It's like a preaching team. So I needed your blessings, and also I want to know how I can prepare myself for this service.
Prepare yourself for what service?
Whoever comes to temple, we have to talk to them. We have to take their contacts, and we have to keep calling them to temple.
Yeah.
So
that's not. Just do it.
So please,
Just
I need your blessings, and also how I can prepare my consciousness nicely so that I can approach them and
yeah, just think, oh, here's an opportunity to help these people. Let me do my best.
mm. And after I came back from Mayapur, I'm daily attending Mangalarti and daily attending Bhagavatam class in the temple. Before I was not able to do that, Maharaj. So it's all your mercy.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. Well, you took advantage of being in Mayapur and you got inspired to do more.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. And one more question is, uh, last year I met one devotee in temple. She had told me about Payovrata, where we have to uh, fast and take only milk or some buttermilk, and for 12 days it will help for begetting a good devotee child. So easily by Krishna's mercy I was able to do it. So this year from tomorrow it's starting. So should I do it or not? What do you recommend? I wanted to ask.
What is the austerity?
So taking only milk for 12 days like that
For what reason?
for begetting a good devotee child.
Get advice from people who know. That's somebody's opinion. It may have some value or it may not, I don't know. But there you can also pray for, I forgot who, there's a personality you can pray for good children. Well, follow the principles of, the samskaras for begetting a child. Get the blessings of the spiritual master and act according to the principles. That's all. Certain austerities may be beneficial, may not be. I don't really know. I never heard that one, so I'm not sure. I don't know where they got that from. I'm not saying it's
She's
wrong.
talking about Payovrata ceremony, Guru Maharaj. Payovrata.
Oh, okay, that's Bhagavatam. But Payovrata is not just buttermilk for 12 days. It's much more than that. But that's a very difficult austerity to perform. A little deviation in the Payovrata, you can wound up getting the opposite.
Oh, Krishna.
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. Hope that helps.
And Maharaj, one more thing. While chanting, I had heard that when we chant, first offering prayers to our Guru Maharaj, and then if we chant, then we also get the taste for the holy name, and also we can chant keeping our Guru Maharaj's photo. So, what do you tell about that?
Yeah, before you chant, pray for the mercy of the holy name. You can't chant attentively unless you actually pray to chant attentively. You can offer prayers to the spiritual master, prayers to Bhaktivinoda Thakur has given some prayers to Srila Haridas Thakur, prayers to Lord Chaitanya. Praying for the quality of chanting, the enthusiasm for chanting, the mood for chanting is very, very important because that will help you develop it. Yeah. Read about the glories of the Lord.
Yeah. Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you, Mataji. Sridevi Mataji. This will be the last question for today. Please, Mataji.
Yeah, thank you. Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. I have another question, Guru Maharaj. Speaking of enthusiasm, apart from increasing one's own enthusiasm, how can we enthuse others, inspire and encourage others For example, our reading call. We have started a reading call, but there isn't much response to our efforts to come together and read every day, which is one of the instructions of Srila Prabhupada also, to read my books every day. So we thought via reading call there will be, some collective efforts which will increase everyone's enthusiasm. But we are not getting so much of a response. So what steps can we take to inspire, encourage, and enthuse others? Joy.
Use your intelligence and see what you can do to inspire people. I can't tell you do this or do that. I can only say that, all right, you want to make it more effective, you want to bring more people on. See what you're doing, see how you can improve it, see how you can maybe bring more people into it. Just use your intelligence. That's all. When it comes to preaching, it's a matter of intelligence. See what other people are doing and who are doing the same thing and see where their success lies.
Okay, Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we have a question from Soumya Datri here. She's
Yes,
here.
Maharaj. Sure. Yes,
Krishna, my humble obeisances. Only like to share my realization, and the same at the end is the question of this. We speaking about our results. I was serving in temple many years, and I was very happy. I didn't thinking of results, but I was happy because I saw the devotees was happy, and sometimes Guru Maharaj was happy, satisfied. But then some Mataji came, new Mataji came in temple, and these services are not very, my services are not good for her. And she began speaking, it's not good, this is not good, I will do better, what is this, no this. I only listen, I wasn't demand, not quarrel, nothing, only listen and thinking what is wrong with me that disturbed this me so much, her talking about my past services. Why I'm sad, what I'm disturbed, and I think that this is this, I got realization that I am attached to the result in past from my serving. So I am disturbed. Because if I will be not attached, I will not be disturbed. What she's speaking is a problem. I'm doing what I
try
the best, but I was really disturbed. And I think, why? You are attached to this result, what you are doing is this, I thinking, okay.
Okay. If she's in a position of leadership, she's meant to inspire you in your service and not simply find fault. And that's not finding.
She was not in position, any position.
She was in no position.
No position. She took this position herself.
Well, what's her qualification?
But I think what this so disturbed me more. But I think it's.
Then you have to see if your authorities are pleased, the devotees are pleased. What she says has no meaning.
Yeah, this I think that. Not be attached to the thinking results, my results, investment.
She's envious.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. To share this.
Thank you, Mataji, for sharing. Yeah. It's very hard to find out envious people sometimes, Maharaj. Okay, dear devotees, thank you so much, Maharaj.
Yeah, we're all okay. We can end here.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, dear devotees and Maharaj. Thank you so much. Such a wonderful class and nice discussion. See you all tomorrow again for Srimad Bhagavatam class.
Say something. Is there any devotees online now who are in Mayapur? Anybody in Mayapur there? Nobody's in Mayapur. Okay. Anyway, if you decide to come to Mayapur tomorrow, be careful because the home minister of, which is, he's coming tomorrow and there's a big security arrangement for his appearance and things are going to be restricted as far as movements are concerned. So if you decide to come, beware, be ready for that restriction. There'll be certain areas that you won't be able to go into. He's coming early in the morning, he's coming by helicopter into the area of Mayapur. So tomorrow is going to be a day where a lot of things will be limited and there'll be security forces all around Mayapur tomorrow. So if anybody has decided to come tomorrow or is here now, just be aware of that, that's all. I just wanted to make that known just in case. I think I know one girl who's not online today. She's also coming tomorrow. So I don't know, maybe she'll hear this particular announcement.
Guru Maharaj, is best that people do not travel because it's just, even on normal days, it's so chaotic. What to speak of with some dignitary coming, it's just not advisable. If she's a young girl all alone, who is that person? May I contact her and tell her to avoid?
Radha Bhakti Madhuri, Mataji.
Yeah, she's coming. She's going to come. Definitely, she has to meet a person who is very important, and this meeting is very important for her. She can come, but she just has to be aware of what she may face when she has to come here. So I don't know. I have to go into the temple tomorrow at 11 o'clock, and I'm not allowed to get out of the temple until 4 o'clock. In other words, once you go in, you can't go out. So that's nice. That's nectar.
Yeah, because it's Kirtan Mela, it's wonderful actually.
Yeah,
but I'm concerned about her.
The Kirtan Mela is going on, so I'm going to be there for 5 hours. So that's fine. But that means that they're going to provide prasadam, right? Because it's right in the middle of prasadam also. Anyway, this is just a little bit of awareness that things may not be the same as normal if you come tomorrow. You just be aware of, and you'll get instructions of where to go and what you can do if you arrive here tomorrow. They're not restricting people from coming in, but once you're in, you're not going to be able to get out until it's the home minister. He's coming, which is the second person in charge of the whole country. The second man to Modi. He's Modi's first person.
Thank you.
Amit Shah.
Yeah, that's his name.
Amit Shah. Amit Shah.
Amit Shah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
For continuation of the Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yes.
Class.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Swami Maharaj ki jai.